matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Carr. Senator Hughes, and welcome. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you, Chair. Mr Pringle, you acknowledged in your opening statement and some of your answers that family law cases often involve allegations of sexual or physical violence, substance abuse, etc. I'm just wondering whether or not those cases will be dealt with now going forward in the same lists as a migration issue or a defamation issue per se.
Yes, the family violence matters are within our family law umbrella, very separate from the general federal law work that's done in migration and other areas. The difference that the funding is going to make in regard to addressing those matters is that with the additional resources, we can take the time to look through each stage of the case management pathway very carefully at how risk is changing and being impacted. I should mention at this juncture the Lighthouse project, which is running across 3 of our registries in Brisbane and in Parramatta and in Adelaide. And that is a very important project, which is an early risk screening tool to find out where these risks lie at the point of filing or even before when you think about it. It does 2 things. One, it tries to get better health outcomes for vulnerable people. So depending on how people screen through that process, they'll be referred off to get support services, which is quite revolutionary for a court to be involved in that at the very front end of a proceeding in that way. And our family counsellors do an amazing job in supporting people doing that. The second element of that project is to help to inform our case management pathway. And so once we understand whether a matter, sorry, there's fairly loud microphone noise going on. Once we understand the high, mid or low level risk of a case, we can tailor our case management appropriately to deal with it. So, for example, with our high-risk cases, they will stream to what is known as the EVIT list, a well-resourced list with judges, registrars, senior registrars and family consultants, and get the specialist help that they need through that litigation process because they are high-risk cases. The lower-risk cases will be streamed through to dispute resolution, but always with an eye to safety. And the aim is to try and help them resolve as early as possible. If it would be of assistance, I'm happy to clarify how the green stream, if we can put it that way, the dispute resolution cases are dealt with safely within the court. We have Anne-Marie Rice, our Executive Director of Dispute Resolution here, who could clarify the model and the process if that's of assistance to you.
No, I think I know we're short of time, so in the interest of that, I'll just keep going. I've just got one more question, and I guess you mentioned some of it around that I think you said it was the Lighthouse program. I apologise if I've got that wrong.
Lighthouse project. Yeah.
Lighthouse project, sorry. But what training will non-family law specific judges have in family violence, in these sorts of allegations and the impact that it has on children, and particularly in light of the fact that you are acknowledging some of these family court judges currently have 102 matters listed on their docket? You know, how's that going to speed up or expedite the process and progress through these lists if non-family specific judges are having to do additional training at all?
Well, most of our judges are really, they come to the court with an extremely high level of experience in family law. I should state that from the outset.
Sorry, both family court judges as well as the circuit judges? Yes,
indeed. In fact, many of our family court judges are former federal circuit court judges who have a very large amount of experience, both within the court and prior to coming to the court. So the first response really to that question is to say that we do have very high levels of experience amongst both courts, the judges in both courts, in family law, for those judges who are dealing in family law. Obviously, the family court does that 100%. In the circuit court, it's broken up. Some judges do only family law, some do only general federal law, and some do a combination of both. But as I said, we draw on that experience. Beyond that, of course, there's a very, very careful induction and training program, and the Chief Justice, who's responsible for the management of the business of the court, carefully calibrates exactly what sort of case should go to which judge group, and through that process we can ensure that everybody's got not only the relevant experience that they need, but the training and support that they might need as well. And the same sort of principles apply for our registrars and senior registrars.
Okay. Thank you, Mr Pringle. Thank you, Chair.
Madam Chair, may I just clarify
yes.
something?
Yes, Minister.